The standoff between Nevada rancher Cliven Bundy and the federal government is not over yet. Bundy still refuses to pay the $1 million in grazing fees he owes the federal government. And now, after an aborted attempt by the Bureau of Land Management to impound his cattle, Bundy tells conspiracy theorist and radio host Alex Jones that while he's not looking for a civil war, he is, quote, not in a negotiating mood.
We're not going to negotiate with big government. We're not going to negotiate with BLM. We're only going to back up and strengthen our county sheriff and hope he does his job.
Keep in mind, the county sheriff's job, according to Cliven Bundy, involves disarming federal agents. On Friday, I brought you an interview with Nevada State Assemblywoman Michelle Fiore, who was attending a celebratory barbecue near the Bundy Ranch, and who came on this show to express her solidarity with the Cliven Bundy family and his armed supporters. Do you recognize the authority of the federal government?
Oh, I recognize the authority that they believe that they have. I just question it. Don't come here with guns and expect the American people not to fire back.
While it might not surprise you to hear that kind of talk from a Nevada state legislator you probably never heard of until Friday night, it's something of a game changer when Nevada Republican United States Senator starts chiming in.
What Senator Reid may call domestic terrorists, I call patriots.
Nevada's Republican Senator Dean Heller believes the Bundy Ranch supporters are patriots. He's talking about the hundreds of militia members and states' rights activists who stood with Nevada rancher Cliven Bundy and against the federal government. Heller says these men and women are patriots. So does the website InfoWars, a paranoid online haven run by Alex Jones. Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist whose stories often make their way from his website InfoWars, where on any day you can find headlines about vaccines, mass fluoridation, and the 9/11 cover-up, into the so-called mainstream GOP establishment. Alex Jones was a champion of Cliven Bundy from the very beginning.
Because he's saying he'll do whatever he has to not be, have his grazing rights stolen by these pirates.
Drudge elevated the story, and it made its way onto Fox News' airwaves. Next thing you know, so-called mainstream Republicans are calling people like this patriots.
What Senator Reid may call domestic terrorists, I call patriots.
But the Alex Jonesification of the GOP is much bigger than the Bundy Ranch. Take Greg Brannon, the Tea Party Republican candidate for Senate in North Carolina. He's running neck and neck with establishment favorite Tom Tillis for the Republican Senate nomination. And in 2012, he said that a 9/11 truthers question needed to be answered.
I'm a 9/11 truther, and I had a friend of mine ask me, tell me, look on the internet, Google the Pentagon, and show me where the plane hit the Pentagon. Where is the plane?
A Democrat Republican were the co-chairmen of the 9/11 Commission. And when they got done, they did not put their stamp of approval on the commission. They said there's data that we did not put in there. So things like this have to be asked.
Brannon's flirtation with a 9/11 truther probably seems fringy to you, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Brannon is a connoisseur of a wide range of Jones-backed conspiracies, from Obamacare as socialist plot to vaccines to something called Agenda 21.
This scam of Agenda 21, this scam of humans are poisoning the earth is a scam. They're using that to control you, to control me, to control life. That's why Obamacare, Agenda 21, NDAA, all these things are the collective over the individual.
And you'll never guess who's endorsed Brannon's bid. Someone who is well acquainted with the right's favorite conspiracy theories, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul.
I'm pleased to be here to support a fellow physician, to support Greg Brannon.
Rand Paul is also a fan of Alex Jones. He's been a guest on Jones's radio show over the years. Paul apparently takes his cues from Jones on fringe obsessions like Bilderberg, a yearly meeting of people that Jones believes secretly run the world.
Do you know anything about the Bilderberg Group?
Only what I've learned from Alex Jones.
Do you know, for the people who don't know what's going on, can you tell people who are the Bilderberg Group, if you feel comfortable doing so?
Yeah, well, I'm not probably the world's expert on it, but I think it's people who get together who are very wealthy people who I think manipulate and use government to their own personal advantage.
For more and more Republicans, if you're not out on the fringe, you're not in the party's mainstream.
You look at any of the far-right websites, the movement is absolutely jubilant and believes that it has shown that if you stand up to jackbooted federal thugs with, Second Amendment remedies, that you can triumph. And so, once they've kind of, after a test case like this, I think it would be very unlikely that you don't see other people trying the same thing.